Dear Diary, I am sad. I don't know how to express this feeling of sadness because as a woman, I am told to be fearless and be different. And as a man, I am told to man up and be a man. But what does that really mean? All I want is for this emotional turmoil to go away and let everything get back to normal, peaceful and relaxed. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Pet here, karibu sana. So guys, I have a quick question for you people today. How often do you bring up the conversation on mental health with your family members, with your friends, with your relatives, and just practically anyone around you when you meet up for that coffee date, for that dinner, or just anything? So how often do you start the conversation? I would really love to know. Now, I choose to bring up the conversation with my friends and also my family members because I believe that mental health plays a fundamental role to our well-being each and every time. I often start up the conversation with my family members and ask them, what are you doing? Why are you sad? Why are you happy? I am so inquisitive to know what's going on in their lives because you know what? It matters. So today is on 10th of September 2020 and today is World Suicide Prevention Day. I would like to talk about creating awareness on suicide prevention, which is often being brought about due to mental health issues and also just some life stressors. So I would like to share with you some random facts before we begin. Did you know suicide is responsible for over 800,000 deaths, which equate to one suicide every 40 seconds. In every life lost, this represents someone's child, friend, partner, or colleague. And for every suicide, approximately 135 people suffer from intense grief, and this rounds up to 100 million people per year who are deeply affected by suicidal behavior. What is suicidal behavior? This includes death by suicide, the ideology about suicide, and the attempt of suicide. So as I mentioned earlier, suicidal behavior is mainly brought about by life stressors, things that people might not be able to handle as an individual, and thereby they get to that emotional turmoil. And these are just some of the situations that might bring about that situation. We have financial problems, breakups, chronic pain, conflict, violence, abuse, loss, and sense of isolation. And every preventive measure that I'm going to talk about involves you and I. It involves the person who might be having the suicidal thoughts, and also majorly it involves the community members and the people who are going through certain distressing situations. So the first preventive measure that I might be able to share is education. When we talk about education, we look into educating the people around us about the importance of taking care of their mental health, because once you know that, it's actually a very effective measure to suicide prevention. And this comes a long way from the moment you were born. You know, how did you express yourself? Did the people around you let you in and make sure that you could express yourself and tell them your emotions each and every time? Because most of the time we tend to ignore these warning signs of suicidal thoughts each and every time. When somebody talks to us and tell us something, we ignore them, and then we also ignore the warning signs in terms of somebody is stressed, but we just tell them, it's just growing up, niko kwa mkubwa. But really something is digging up to build up to have some sort of emotional pain that you might not be able to deal with at a certain point. So we need to educate ourselves about suicidal thoughts and also some of the warning signs that come with it to be able to prevent them at an early stage, because this lack of information is now what leads to that situation, because we don't know how to handle it. You as an individual having those thoughts, you don't know if you can be able to seek help. You're just there. So educate yourself. So just a disclaimer guys, most of the information I'm going to share is just through research that I've done. through the World Health Organization website, and also from random research from different organizations that put up their work when they deal with mental health issues, and practically suicide. So the next preventive measure is helplines. What do you mean by when we say helplines? So the way when we're sick, you call I think it's 911 or 999. I'll share the one for Kenya. Gosh, I don't even know the helpline for Kenya when you're sick. So there's also a helpline for people who have that emotional pain in them and are having to have such suicidal thoughts. So you can be able to call through that line or even text them, because sometimes it's hard to talk to somebody in person because we don't know how the person will react. How will she take me for? Will she just say ati we ni mwanamume itabidi umejipanga? But a helpline, that person, when you text that helpline or you even call through that number, the helpline number, you're able to seek help there. Then they'll be able to guide you through that process. That is if you're afraid to talk to somebody close to you because of the fear of judgment or the fear of how will the person take me for, or just you just don't want to speak to anybody. You want to just speak to a professional or a therapist. Yeah. So that's the closest way or the fastest way to seek help. Just dial the number. I'll put the number here that you can be able to call in terms of that situation. The next measure is demonstrating support. This goes a long way to our family members, to our friends, and to everyone around us. It's not easy to talk to someone about. It's not easy to talk to someone with a mental health condition or in that space of emotional pain. It's not so easy. So you just have to find a way of going around it and showing love and support as the person is going through that process, and just ways of affirmation that we are here to support you each and every time. It really helps that person. That person sees that I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing it with somebody else. So as an individual, to you and I, we have a role to play to support and demonstrate our support and love to people who might be in that situation and we don't really understand what they go through, but we just be there. It helps. The next one is being a good listener. Most of the time we often ignore this. Sometimes somebody wants to talk to us, but we really we ignore it. We don't really take it seriously. But some people don't just want you to give them advice all the time. They just want you to be there. Just listen. Yeah, just give me a listening ear and I'll be fine. And really it helps because I also open up this conversation on my WhatsApp to different friends of mine who gave me their feedback in terms of what they've heard about suicide, and also some of them came out, which I really, really appreciate that they trusted me to that point, that they've ever felt that situation, they've ever felt being in that point. Yeah, and they told me that at that point they really want somebody they can listen to. You don't need to tell them anything or words of affirmation because they know that maybe the situation can't be able to change at that time, but they just want you to listen and show support. I'm so sorry guys about the lighting because it's actually raining. There's not much light coming in the room, but we move regardless because I really want this video to be up tomorrow, which is the 10th of September, because it will make much more sense to me. What? There's some thunder. I hope you're hearing me. So the last point is encouraging recovery options or encouraging recovery efforts. This is especially to people who have the mental health conditions. These people are the kind of people who have already accepted that I have this condition with me and I'm going to seek help. So as they're seeking help and they're recovering through the process, though it takes time as they slowly get to recover and get to seek medication, we need to encourage people all the way. Never judge anyone in that situation. Also the people who have suicidal thoughts. When they decide to come out and seek help and go through medication and also the path to recovery, the path to healing, let us be there to encourage them, to support them. And one thing I'd also like to also stress on is that society has a huge role to play when it comes to people recovering and also people accepting the situations and being better and healing. And it's really so nice. It's so nice listening to people and watching people who have gone through that and they have been able to seek help and they are healed. They're okay. They're doing fine. Yeah. So be encouraging. Also to people who have such kind of thoughts, who are in that point of emotional pain, I will encourage people to really seek help,
through therapists. It's normal to actually it's normal to actually go to a therapist. There are therapists for children, there are therapists for young adults, and there are also therapists for people at an older age. Yeah. So guys, that comes to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching through the whole session, and I hope that you have benefited from the whole session. You've been able to learn a thing or two about suicide prevention measures. Parting shot as we complete this video is that break the stigma and start talking. If you have anyone around you and you feel like there are certain warning signs that you feel like, this person might not be okay, be willing to start a conversation, listen to second of people, take good care of them, show love and affirmation that you are in them in that situation, so that you can be able to help that person through the whole process. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.